Hey Virgo. Ooh, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So she's a lovely energy to have in the work category. She's an amazing manager. She knows how to put systems and processes into place. She doesn't well, I guess her negative side is that she could micromanage and be super nitpicky about things, but in her positive light, she's an excellent manager. She just trains everyone and just she has like a well-oiled machine. She just is able to keep everything going and sort of supervise without being um too into it and too difficult. She likes just to watch everything run very well. She can, this is the type of person you go to their house and she has a beautiful garden and it's well decorated, and she's super talented with the practical things in life. But having everything, beautiful and running well gives her a lot of spiritual peace as well, because she's um everything's just sort of running in place, and so it's neat and orderly and nice, and she's just very practical and down to earth. In this picture she's depicted a little snotty. She does you can tell. I mean, she does tend to be wealthy because she's such a good manager and she's good with her money. She's just very intelligent, but she's really a nice energy. Ooh, okay. So we have the Tower. So the Tower, the Tower is one of those, probably the dreaded card in the tarot. But there are a couple things you have to remember when the tarot comes up. The first one is that this situation was going to happen regardless, and you probably know on some level it needed to happen, but you just weren't able, for whatever reason, to manifest it yourself. So the Tower comes along and shakes things up, and anything that really was false and not stable and not true comes crashing down. And then when the dust settles, what you're left with is what was really strong and built to last in the long run. So it has a way of clearing out clutter that was going to go sooner or later. So there's potentially going to be a shakeup at work. It could be a situation like layoffs or someone getting fired. Could be you. I don't know. Could be your boss. Could be, they come in and lay off some people, or you find out, someone's been embezzling. I don't know. I'm just sort of making this stuff up, and it kind of like shakes the organization, and it can feel unsettling, right? Because it's out of your control. And that's another big part of the Tower. It's out of your control, so it can be especially unsettling when you have absolutely no control over it. But if you can wait it out and try, it's hard. So I'm not saying I know how to do this, but if you can really try to stay grounded like that queen, it usually there's a beautiful opportunity hidden in the rubble of the Tower, and once the dust settles, you're able to see it. And it's sort of one of those situations, in hindsight, you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that happened. Like I got dumped by this guy in my late 20s, and it was like devastating. But once I was on the other side of it, it was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that happened, because it would have, it just would not have been right. And it was really for the best. And it takes some perspective and some time for the dust to settle, and you'll be able to see clearly again. But it's usually what was going to happen at some point, and it needed to happen. Oh yeah, and then look what you have. The 10 of Cups. So whatever this Tower is, and it could be a realization, a shakeup inside of you, where you're like, I can't do this job anymore. It's sucking my soul dry. It's just like, every day I come in, I just want to, it's like I dread coming to work every day. And maybe it prompts you to get a new job, and you just, and it's scary because, it puts things in a precarious situation when you sort of make a big change, but it's going to bring you to the 10 of Cups. It's going to bring you your happily ever after. So remember, though, the one thing I do like to say about when the 10 of Cups comes up is everyone's happily ever after is different, and no one's happily ever after is perfect, because perfection is unattainable. So often there's like a castle in the background and rainbows, and it's like very few of us are going to live in a castle and, have rainbows around all day long. And living in a castle is not going to make you happy either. So this is about emotions. Like, how are you going to best be happy? What is going to really make you happy in your work life? So it's kind of asking you to really do some soul searching, I think, this month about your job, and if you really are happy, or do you need to make a major shakeup? Or do you foresee a major shakeup coming and you're sort of like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here before this comes crashing down, because it just doesn't feel right to me anymore. But try to stay above the fray if this Tower situation does come in, and try to just stay above it and do your job, and see if there's an opportunity in it that is actually going to bring about real happiness in the long, if you can really see the opportunity buried in the aftermath of a Tower event. All right, so for your love life, the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man comes up, and he comes up on times when we feel like things aren't happening as fast as we want, or we're sort of in suspension, or we can't move forward because we're waiting on other things, other people, other situations that we don't have control over. So it's a suspension in time. And the sort of lesson in this card is to use the opportunity, and I'm already thinking kind of the Tower card, to use the opportunity. You can either be like, okay, I'm upside down this tree. This sucks. I can't believe I'm upside down this tree. Is anyone ever going to come and get me? And you just sit there and just think about how much it sucks to be hanging upside down from this tree, which I'm sure it does. So it's not that it doesn't. But, if you are sitting here hanging upside down this tree, perhaps, you're not at work, you're not have any demands on you besides just hanging there. And perhaps you could use it to do some thinking or meditation, or, think through things. And it can be an opportunity. Again, this word opportunity is sort of a theme this month for you, to perhaps try to look at things from a different perspective. I mean, if you're hanging upside down, the world's going to look different. And we do have this light down here, which does say enlightenment. So if you're able to use suspensions time when you feel like you're making a sacrifice, or things aren't happening or moving the way you want, and you're sort of stuck, try to use that time wisely and to your advantage, and it may give you a whole new outlook on things that will benefit your life moving forward. Ooh, and then we have the Page of Cups. So that's always a nice card to get in a love reading. So this is like a new message. So I would say if you're single, this could be someone asking you out, or telling you they love you, or you may hear someone might have a crush on you, or something, or you may hear that someone you're interested is maybe interested in you, or something like that, something that's going to elicit a positive emotional response, or a new beginning in emotional response. And if you are partnered, it can just be maybe you get something really nice for your relationship goes to another level. So, when the Knight of Cups or the Page of Cups or the Ace of Cups comes up in a love reading, it's usually points to some sort of new emotional level in a relationship, or if you're not in a relationship, potentially a new relationship coming in. Oh, and we did the King of Wands. This just came up for the last sign. So this guy is really wonderful. He's super passionate and fun to be around and dynamic. He's just like a super interesting person. The energy of this card is he's a strong leader. He's very creative. He'll, being around him, you just feel more excited and enthusiastic, and you just want to kind of go out and live your life better and be active and do things. It's a really action-oriented, fun, enthusiastic card. So you may have, after, for those of you single, maybe you have been single for a long time, and you are going to meet someone, and this person's going to sort of wake you up, and maybe you guys will start doing things. Maybe haven't really gotten out of the house much, just been kind of hanging around, you know what I mean? And this person doesn't have to be a guy. If you're a guy, it could be a girl or whatever fits for your life. It's going to sort of spark something in you, awaken something, get you fired up and exciting and move in a new direction. Or maybe you'll just meet someone that gets you sort of fired up and wakes up sort of that side of you. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.